Hello, dear children. Today, let us do fifth chapter of Geography. The name of the topic is Major Domains of the Earth. As you have read in the first chapter, the Earth is the only planet which has life. Human beings can live here because the life-sustaining elements of land, water, and air are present on the Earth. Children, you have learned in first chapter about the Earth planet. It is the only planet where life is found. Human beings can live here. It is because of life support elements such as land, water, and air are present on the earth that make possible life in the Earth planet. The surface of the earth is a complex zone in which three main components of the environment meet, overlap, and interact. The solid portion of the earth on which we live is called the lithosphere. The gaseous layers that surround the earth is the atmosphere, where oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and other gases are found. Water covers a very big area of the earth's surface, and this area is called the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises water in all its forms, that is, ice, water, and water vapor. So, in this very paragraph, let us see the surface of the earth is a complex zone, means it is consisting of many different zones in which three main components of the environment meet, overlap. Overlap means extend over so as to cover partly, and interact. Interact means act in such a way as to have an effect on each other. The solid portion of the earth on which we live is called the lithosphere. See, children, our houses is built on the lithosphere, solid portion of the earth. This is one of the domain of the earth. The gaseous layers that surround the earth is the atmosphere. So it is another domain, that is atmosphere. It surrounds the earth. It is the gaseous layer where oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and other gases are found. So in the atmosphere, you see the gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and other gases are found. Water covers a very big area of the Earth's surface, and this area is called hydrosphere. So the mass you see area which is covered by water, that is called hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises water in all its forms. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms, that is ice, water, and water vapor. These are the different forms of water. So these are that means three domains we find here: lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. What are those we have described here? Now let us see the another domains, that is biosphere. The biosphere is the narrow zone where we find land, water, and air together, which contains all forms of life. Biosphere, it is the fourth domain here, and it is the narrow zone. Narrow means small, white, like that zone where we find land, water, and air together, which contains all forms of life. So all forms of life are present here in this biosphere. Now let us elaborate each of the domains one by one, children. First of all, before starting the first domain, that is lithosphere, have a look towards the left side or left margin of your book. Word origin you see here. In the Greek language, lithos means stone, atmos means vapor, and hudor means water, and bios means life. So you just keep it in your mind. Now let us discuss about lithosphere. As you have already learned in the above paragraph, the solid portion of the earth on which we live is called lithosphere. Boys, these terms you must know it. What is lithosphere? What is atmosphere? What is hydrosphere and biosphere? So just underline it and learn by heart it. Now let us see lithosphere. The solid portion of the earth is called the lithosphere. Again it said so. You can mark it here and get by heart this one. What is lithosphere? If anybody asks, you have to say the solid portion of the earth. Solid, not in liquid or any other form. So the solid portion of the earth is called lithosphere. It comprises the rocks of the earth's crust and the thin layers of soil that contain nutrient elements which sustain organisms. Lithosphere, it comprises, it is having what? The rocks of the earth's crust and the thin layer of soil which contain nutrient elements to sustain organisms, which make possible to survive the organisms. There are two main divisions of the earth's surface. Come on, underline this one also. Main divisions of the earth's surface. Two, okay. You tick it. What are those? Let us see. Large land masses are known as the continents. Large land masses of the earth are known as continents, where we build our houses, constructed roads, rail track, etc. And the huge water bodies are called the ocean basins. And the huge means big water bodies are called the ocean basins. So these are the two main divisions of the earth's surface. All the oceans of the world are connected with one another. Look at the map of the world, figure 5.1. Are all the land masses connected with one another? You can see in page number, that means in figure 5.1, which says given in your next page, that is in page number 31. Boys, it talks here. Are all the land masses connected with one another? Definitely you will say no. But you must remember here, all the oceans of the world, they are connected with one another. So the decrease or increase of water in the oceans, it remains same. If any one of the ocean water decreases, at the same time other ocean's water also decreases, and if any one of that ocean water increases, at the same time you'll find increase or decrease, it remains same. It is because of all that oceans, they are interlinked. The level of seawater remains the same everywhere. Elevation of land is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. So these are again two facts, boys. Come on, tick mark it. The level of seawater, it remains the same everywhere. And another one is elevation of land, it is used to measure from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. From the level of the sea, we used to measure the height of any land. So these are the two facts. You mark it and know it. Have a look this 5.1 figure, that is map here in page number 31. Different oceans and continents it has given, boys. Major domains of the earth. Now let us see in page number 32. The highest mountain peak, Mount Everest, is 8,848 meters above the sea level. Boys, for any quiz competition or multiple choice type of question or one mark question, this one is important. You must know which is the highest mountain in the world. If anybody asks, you have to say Mount Everest. And what is its height also, you must know it, okay? The height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters above the sea level. The greatest depth of 11,022 meters is recorded at Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. And the greatest depth, so the deepest part, you must know it, okay? The deepest part, it is called Mariana Trench, and it is in the Pacific Ocean. Highest mountain you find Mount Everest, and deepest part of Pacific Ocean, it is known as Mariana Trench. Could you imagine the depth of sea is much more than the highest point? Let us see continents. So before starting continents, have a look this again to your left margin. These are all important, remember, boys. Do you know Edmund Hillary? He is from New Zealand. And Tenzing Norgay Sherpa, he is from India, were the first men to climb the highest mountain peak, that is Mount Everest, on the planet Earth on 29th May 1953. So, were the two persons who climbed the highest mountain peak or Mount Everest. At first, if anybody asks, you have to say Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. And their date also you must know, 29th May in the year 1953. Then Junko Tabei, she is from Japan, was the first woman to reach the summit on 16th May 1975. So from our India also, we have a lady, the first Indian woman to climb the highest peak on 23rd May 1984 was Bachendri Pal. So tick mark all these are also important for your examination. You must remember all these things. Now let us see continents. Continents, boys, the big land masses of the earth are known as continents. So there are 7 major continents, boys. So big land masses there are Major seven major land masses. They are known as continents. These are separated by large water bodies. These continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. Look at the map of the world, which is given in figure 5.1, and notice that the greater part of the landmass lies in the northern hemisphere. So, maximum part of the land mass there lies in the northern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere. So, see, if anybody asks you how many continents are there, you have to say there are seven continents in all. What is a continent? If anybody asks, you have to answer. The big land masses of the earth are known as continents. And what are the name of the continents? The name of the continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. And boys, we are living in Asia continent. You must know this. Now let us see Asia, the name of our continent. Asia is the largest continent. It covers about one third of the total land area of the earth. The continent lies in the eastern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains. On the west, figure 5.1, the combined landmass of Europe and Asia is called the Eurasia. Europe plus Asia. So Asia, it is the largest continent, children. Among all that seven continents, our Asia is the largest continent. It covers about one third of the total land area of our earth. The continent that is our Asia lies in the eastern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer means the parallel of latitude, that is 23.5 or 23 degree 26 minute north, that is Tropic of Cancer, which lies towards the northern side of equator, and towards the southern side we have Tropic of Capricorn. So the Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent, through that means this Asia. Asia is separated from Europe by Ural Mountains. Ural Mountains is name of a mountain like our Mount Everest. So it has separated Asia from Europe by these Ural Mountains on the west. The combined land mass of Europe and Asia is called the Eurasia. If you combine this Europe and Asia, it is called as Eurasia. Eurasia means Europe plus Asia. Now let us see about Europe. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent lies to the west of Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it. It is bound by water bodies on three sides. Look at the map of the world and locate it. Europe, remember children, its size is much smaller than our Asia. And this continent lies to the west of our Asia. The Arctic Circle, it passes through it. It is bound by water bodies on three sides. You must remember which continent is bound by water on its three sides. You have to say Europe. So underline this. It is bound by water bodies on three sides. Which continent it means here? In answer, you have to say Europe. Look at the map of the world and locate it. Africa. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. So after in position, in size, boys, it is second largest continent. The equator or 0 degree latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent. A large part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere. Look at the figure 5.1. You will find that it is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn pass. You'll find this is the only continent through which this Tropic of Cancer, equator, and Tropic of Capricorn it pass. The Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert. Boys, underline this. The Sahara, which is the world's largest hot desert. If anybody asks, you have to say the Sahara Desert. But you must know Africa is the dark continent. So, the Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, is located in Africa. The continent is bound on all sides by oceans and seas. Look at the world map, which is given in figure 5.1. You will notice that the world's longest river Nile flows through Africa. Notice where the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, and the Tropic of Capricorn pass in the map of Africa. You notice, you know it. Okay, you just see that. Here in this paragraph, you have to know this. The world's largest hot desert. Okay, where is it located and which is the world's largest hot desert? And apart from this, you have to know the continent. This continent, Africa, is bound on all sides by oceans and seas. In the map, you will notice that the world's longest river, the Nile, which is the longest river in the world, if anybody asks, you have to say the Nile River. Mark this one also, the Nile. It flows through Africa. In which continent does this Nile River flow? You have to say Africa. Notice where the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, and the Tropic of Capricorn pass in the map of Africa. North America is the third largest continent of the world. The largest continent we find, Asia. Second one is Africa. Now the third largest continent we find here, it is North America, continent of the world. It is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. Anytime anybody can ask you, what is Isthmus of Panama? You have to say here, this one, okay. See, it is linked to South America by a narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. The continent lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere. Three oceans surround this continent. So, this North America, it is surrounded by three oceans. Can you name these oceans? Boys, you must know. North, it is surrounded by Arctic Ocean. East is surrounded by Atlantic Ocean. And west is surrounded by Pacific Ocean. So these are the three oceans which surround this continent. You must know it. Let us see the next page. That is South America. South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere, which to surround it on the east and the west. The Andes was longest mountain. Range runs through its length from north to south. This one again, you mark it. The Andes, it is the world's longest mountain range. It runs through its length from north to south. Figure 5.1. South America has the world's largest river, the Amazon. South America, it has the world's largest river, which is known as Amazon. Mark this one also and get by heart it. Australia. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. Among all the continents, we find Asia is the largest continent, and you must know Australia it is the smallest continent. If anybody asks you which is the smallest continent, you have to say Australia. So it lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. It is surrounded on all sides by the oceans and seas. And which continent is surrounded by oceans on all sides by the oceans and seas? If anybody asks, you have to say Australia. It is called an island continent. Come on, mark the last sentence also. Island continent. Since it is surrounded by seas and oceans, that's why Australia is known as island continent. Antarctica, the seventh one, let us see. Completely in the southern hemisphere. This Antarctica continent, it is completely in the southern hemisphere. Is a huge continent. It's a big continent. The South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. South Pole it lies almost at the center of this Antarctica. As it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets. Boys, as this that means continent, it is located in the South Polar region. That's why it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets. Ice sheets means it is a layer of ice covering an extensive tract of land for a long period of time. Rays of the sun, it cannot fall there. There are no permanent human settlements. Permanently, human being cannot settle there, cannot live there. Many countries have research stations in Antarctica. Research stations they have there, which is set up by many countries. India also has research stations there in Antarctica. These are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. These are the two research centers from our country, India, in the Antarctica continent. So, name of these two. And if anybody asks you what is Dakshin Gangotri, you have to answer it, okay? Now, let us see hydrosphere. Hydrosphere means here the water areas. You see, the Earth is called the blue planet. Do you know, boys, why it is called blue planet? Astronaut who went in the space, when they saw from the space our Earth, they said it looks blue because of maximum part of the Earth is covered by water, and that is why the Earth is called the blue planet. More than 71% of the Earth is covered with water and 29% is with land. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms, as running water in oceans and rivers and in lakes, ice in glaciers, underground water, and the water vapor in atmosphere all comprise the hydrosphere. So this all it comprises this hydrosphere. More than 97% of the Earth's water is found in the oceans and is too salty for human use. More than 97% of the Earth's water it is found in the ocean, and this water is too salty. Too salty means it is mixed with salt for human use. A large portion of the rest of the water is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or under the ground, and a very small percentage is available as fresh water for human use. So see different percentage it has given uh, the water how it is present on this earth. Fresh water, then saline water or salty water, and water in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or underground or ground. That thing you can know from here. Hence, despite being a blue planet, we face a shortage of water. Boys, all water is not suitable for human consumption. Only we find very small percentage is available as fresh water. That's why, though maximum part of our earth is covered by water, in spite of being a blue planet, we face the shortage of water. Oceans. Let us say again. Oceans are the major part of hydrosphere. They are all interconnected. So yeah, they are all interlinked. That's why I already told you earlier. Decrease or increase of all oceans water, it remains same because of interlinked. The ocean waters are always moving. The three chief movements of ocean waters are the waves, the tides, and the ocean currents. Come on, underline this also. What are the three chief movements of ocean water? If this question asks you, you have to say the waves, the tides, and the ocean currents. So these are the three chief movements of what ocean water. The five major oceans are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean in order of their size. So, water oceans, this one also you can answer. The large masses of water cover the surface of the earth are known as oceans. Then, how many oceans are there? If it asks you, you have to say there are five oceans in all. What are they? You have to say they are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. These are in order of their size, boys. And you must remember here the Indian Ocean. It is the only ocean which is named after a country. India, okay. Indian Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. Mark this one also, which is the largest ocean, and it is spread over one third of the earth. Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the earth. Mark this one also, which is the deepest part of the earth. This one you have to say Mariana Trench. And where does it lie? It lies in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is almost circular in shape. Its shape is circular. Asia, Australia, North and South America surround it. So see here, name of the continent. These are Asia, Australia, North and South America surround it, surround this Pacific Ocean. Look at the map and find out the location of the continents around the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean in the world. It is S-shaped. Which ocean is S-shaped, boys? If it asks, you have to say Atlantic Ocean. Underline this, okay? It is S-shaped. It is flanked by the North and South Americas on the western side and Europe and Africa on the eastern side. The coastline of Atlantic Ocean is highly indented. This irregular and indented coastline provides ideal location for natural harbors and ports. From the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean. So you can see here indented as its coastline, not in a smooth way. It resulted what? It is helpful for making natural harbors and port facilities, means ships can stay here in that area. So yes, harbor and ports facilities found here. So from the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean, boys. So which is here, this one also you mark or underline the last sentence. From the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean. It means which ocean is it here? You have to say the name of this Atlantic Ocean. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, that is India. I've already told you. The shape of ocean is almost triangular. Triangle you have already learned. So the shape of Indian Ocean is almost triangular. In the north, it is bound by Asia. In the west by Africa. And in the east by Australia. The Southern Ocean encircles the continent of Antarctica and extends northward to 60 degrees south latitude. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounds the North Pole. This Arctic Ocean. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. Underline this. What is Bering Strait? So, Pacific Ocean, you can see it is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water, which is known as Bering Strait. It is bound by northern coast of North America and Eurasia. So, these are about different continents and oceans. Now, let us see atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called the atmosphere. This thin blanket of air is an integral and important aspect of the planet. It provides us with the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of sun's rays. You see, atmosphere, our Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas which is known as atmosphere. So this thin blanket of air which surround the earth, it is an integral and important aspect of the planet. It provides us with the air which is helpful for our breathing and protects us from the harmful effects of sun's rays. If there is not presence of this atmosphere, directly rays of the sun, it could fall on us, and to sustain life, it would not be possible. The atmosphere extends up to a height of about 1600 kilometers. Its height, you see, atmospheres, it extends up to a height of about 1600 kilometers. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers. Atmosphere, it is divided into 5 layers based on composition, temperature, and other properties. These layers, starting from Earth's surface, are called the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. See the level diagram which is given in this page number 35, figure 5.4, layers of atmosphere. You can see, boys, different layers. This level diagram it has given here. You can draw it in your notebook and you must know it. The atmosphere is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen. Atmosphere, mainly it is composed of nitrogen and oxygen gas, which make up about 99% of clean dry air. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, and other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, and others comprise 1% by volume. So different, you see, percentage of gases which are present in the atmosphere it has given, boys. You must know all this data, all this number. Oxygen is the breath of life, while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Oxygen, you must know, this is the breath of life. Our life sustains, it is because of, you see, this oxygen, while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide, though present in minute amount, in minute in amount, means very less amount, is important as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth, thereby keeping the planet warm. So all this, that means we find these are very important for our life. It is also essential for the growth of plants. Nitrogen, you see here, boys. This is also again, and here uh, carbon dioxide, though present in minute amount, is important as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth, thereby keeping the planet warm. It is also essential for the growth of plants. The density of the atmosphere varies with height. Density of atmosphere, it is different according to the height. It is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go up. So here you see density, it is maximum at the sea level and it decreases rapidly as we go up. You know, the climbers experience problems in breathing due to this decrease in the density of air. Climber means mountain climber, They experience problems in breathing. It is because of the decrease in the density of air. They have to carry with them oxygen cylinders to be able to breathe at high altitude. At high altitudes, as the air, sufficient air cannot get there. That's why they need to carry cylinders when one used to go for climbing a mountain. The temperature also decreases as we go upwards. Temperature also it also decreases as we go upwards. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the earth. This varies from place to place. That means difference again. It is not alike in every places. It is different from one place to another. Some areas experience high pressure and some areas low pressure. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. Moving air is known as wind. Mark this one also. What is wind? If anybody asks, you have to say moving air is known as wind. Biosphere, the domain of life. The biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between the land, water, and air. It is in this zone that life that is unique to this planet exists. The uniqueness here we find in the biosphere is it is the zone where life is possible, life exists. There are several species of organisms that vary in size from microbes and bacteria to huge mammals. All the living organisms, including humans, are linked to each other and to the biosphere for survival. See, right from tiny organisms, small insects, up to big mammals, huge mammals, or human beings, etc., are linked to each other and to the biosphere for their survival. The organisms in the biosphere may broadly be divided into the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Organisms which are present in the biosphere, they may be broadly divided into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. The three domains of the earth interact with each other and affect each other in some way or the other. For example, cutting of forest for fulfilling our need of wood or clearing land for agriculture may lead to first removal of soil from slopes. See, these three domains of the earth it interact with each other and affect each other in some way or the other. As example, we can say cutting off forests for fulfilling our needs of wood or clearing land for agriculture may lead to first removal of soil from slopes. Similarly, likewise, Earth's surface may be changed due to natural calamities. Natural calamities such as earthquake, okay, earthquake, volcanic eruption, landslides, like that. For example, there could be submergence of land, as happened in the case of tsunami recently, means which is covered by water. It is said that some part of Nicobar Island it is submerged by the tsunami. That's why it says here there could be submergence of land as happened in the case of tsunami recently. Parts of Andaman and Nicobar Islands were submerged underwater. Discharge of waste material into lakes. Discharge of waste materials from different industries or factories into lakes and rivers. It makes water unsuitable for human use, which pollute water or water resources. It also damages other forms of life, like aquatic animals. It damages them also. Emission from industries, thermal power plants, and vehicles pollute the air. Emission means the production and discharge of gas or radiation from industries, thermal power plants, and vehicles. It also pollute the air. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is an important constituent of air, but increase in the amount of CO2 leads to increase in global temperatures. This is termed as global warming. So how does that mean this global warming it happened, You can see here. There is thus a need to limit the use of resources of the earth to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of the lithosphere, the atmosphere, and the hydrosphere. So here there is thus a need in order to limit the use of those resources of the earth in order to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of lithosphere, the atmosphere, and the hydrosphere. So here is the end of the lesson. Thank you all.